Let's get the stream up and going. Make sure it's all good and everything is nice and good like. Make sure it's all good. Alright, sounds alright. What's going on, guys? I'm back for my favorite video to do every year, and that is my post-draft, post-schedule release predictions for the next upcoming football season. I'm gonna move this. Cool. I just wanted the Seahawks to be in the playoffs. 49ers at 15 would be legendary. Okay. I need to clean my fucking glasses, man. Okay. So, starting off, I'm gonna be completely unbiased. This is purely predictory. Prediction. So yeah, this is gonna be purely predictions. No bias here. You know. We're gonna go through for week 1. We're gonna take a lot more time. I'm gonna go through each team, talk about what they've done and who they've added, and yeah. So first off, we got Jags Colts starting off. We're gonna take a look at each team's depth chart just so we can get in depth. So Jaguars. They added Anton Harrison in the first round, who I'm not a huge fan of him, but Cam Robinson, you know, and I don't think Walker Little is a long-time starter for them, so I do like the addition of Anton Harrison. I don't think he was a first-round talent, but that's fine. They added Tank Bigsby in the 3rd round. That was a great addition for them. I like Tank Bigsby a lot. He's not. I mean, there were a lot of good running backs in this class, and I think he's a good complement to Travis Etienne. I think that's nice to add someone there. Brenton Strange, I think that was a pretty huge reach on him. I think he was a 5th, 6th round guy, so I'm not huge on that, but it's nice to get tight end depth, and that's what they did. So, you know, they know what they're doing. You know, I can't shit on that. And then we go down here. I mean, they still have Trayvon Walker. Kind of, you know, didn't do what they thought he was gonna do last year. They did add Antonio Johnson in the secondary, who I'm not a huge fan of, but clearly they liked him. I don't know what they're doing with the Josh Allen situation. You know, they kind of just gave up on giving him a new contract. They drafted Yasir Abdullah. He was all right. I think both him and Antonio Johnson are really just depth pieces. Okay. So the Jags, they didn't do a whole lot in free agency. They added good offensive lineman, good backup running back, good backup tight end for them. But, you know, they didn't really do a whole lot. They do have a pretty good receiving core, though, with Calvin Ridley coming back. They did add Parker Washington, who I'm not too high on. I would have liked them to grab Michael Wilson rather than Parker Washington. But, you know, it's nice to just add depth for their receiving core there. And then, let's go over to the Colts. Look at what they've done, which, I like AR-15, but here's the thing. I hope it stays this way, you know? I think the thing with Anthony Richardson is he's a project QB. Everyone knows that. So have Gardner Minshew start for 6 to 8 weeks, have AR-15 develop a little bit, then start him. Or ideally, you'd have Gardner start the entire year, have Anthony develop for a full year, like Mahomes did, like Herbert did. And then, I know it wasn't a full year for Herbert, but, and then have him start, and, that's where you do it. So, ideally, my ideal, so I'm sick, so that's why I'm all raspied up. Ideally, my ideal, you would start Gardner for the entire season. And I think this should be a tank year for the Colts. Tank again, maybe add another elite weapon. If you tank this year and can somehow grab Marvin Harrison Jr. or even Brock Bauer, if you have Jonathan Taylor, AR-15, this receiving core is pretty good. Michael Pittman, but Alec Pierce and Josh Downs, who they added this draft, I think Josh Downs has potential. And then you add an elite tight end like Brock Bowers, I think you have just an all-star offense there. They did add, they added Josh Downs, who he fell for obvious reasons. Evan Hall, he's a late-round pick. That's fine. They added Will Mallory, who I liked. I liked him. Blake Freeland was another addition. I don't like him at all. I think I really don't think he's a good offensive lineman. But for the place they got him at, it's worth a shot. Add more depth there. He's a good slide in there. They added Julius Brents in the second round, who I'm not as high on Julius Brents as, clearly the NFL is, but I am very high on Darius Rush. I like him a lot, and I wanted him. The Seahawks grabbed Witherspoon at 5, obviously, but I wanted Rush maybe in the 3rd for the Seahawks. He's that tall, lanky guy that the Seahawks like. I really like Darius Rush for them, and him and Julius Brents. That's just a good addition. Both of them. I don't like where Brents was taken, but. And then they added Tomiwa Adebaware in the 4th. He could have been a first rounder. He should have been a second. No way he should have fallen out of the second round, never mind day 2. But they grabbed him in the 4th, which is unbelievable right here. I think he's 100% a starter. He's at least a big rotational piece, but I think he's 100% a starter. And that's just an outstanding pickup. I love that. So I think Gardner should start, and still you could win some games with Gardner. He's not that bad. So we're going to look in here. Jags versus Colts. I don't know really, are the Jags going to pick up where they left last season? They almost beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, and that's unbelievable. But Colts have some new pieces. They got new offensive weapons. They got new defensive weapons. But, with Gardner starting, I don't know, especially week 1, I don't know if the Colts win that. And plus, Colts tend to lose to the Jags a lot. I'm going to go with the Jags here to get this win. What's going on here? I had them win, and then they're still 16. Is this thing broken? Huh. Interesting. What if I click update? Yes, reset. Huh. Okay. There we go. They should be jumping up, but whatever. All right. Now we go second game, Bengals Browns. That's what a game that is, right? Bengals always fucking lose to the Browns for no fucking reason. But let's look at what the Bengals have done here. Bengals depth chart. Alright, so they added Chase Brown, who I like him, and I think he'll start because I don't think Joe Mixon is going to start. I think he deserves to be in prison. And yeah, so I think he should start. They also added Charlie Jones, who I wasn't too high on, but that's a great addition to that already stacked receiving core. They added Miles Murphy, who I like Miles Murphy a lot. I was higher on him than the NFL, I think. I like him a lot. They added DJ Turner and Jordan Battle, so just completely beefing up that secondary. I don't really know where Jordan Battle kind of fits into that role because they just added Dax Hill. But I like him, and I think he could do good there. Also added DJ Ivy, who, not much to say there. They didn't make too many big moves in the offseason. They added Orlando Brown Jr., who I don't like. I think Orlando Brown Jr. is absolute shit. I don't understand how he made the Pro Bowl. He's an absolute shit offensive lineman. He was the worst offensive lineman on the Chiefs O-line. So I don't understand how he made the Pro Bowl. Doesn't make a lick of sense to me. But whatever. Whatever, man. Whatever. All right. Now let's look at the Browns. The Browns fucking suck. They got Elijah Moore from the Jets, which is good, adding to their receiving core. Also adding to the receiving core, Marquise Goodwin, who's with the Hawks, and Cedric Tillman, and that's just a stacked receiving core. Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, DPJ, Cedric Tillman, Marquise Goodwin. That is really, really great. So I'm surprised they didn't pick up a running back or a tight end. But they did get DTR, who I like a lot. I think he's good. He's definitely better than Josh Dobbs, who they also added. Definitely better than Joshua Dobbs. And could be better than Deshaun Watson because Deshaun fucking sucks dick. Ethan Posick, I don't know if he starts over Luke Whippler. Luke Whippler was my number one center in the class. I know he was a little undersized, but I do like Luke Whippler. He's my favorite center. And so I think he starts, and then they added Dwan Jones too, who I'm not super high on, but it was a good value pick because he did fall to the 4th. So that's a good grab there by them. They did add Dalvin Tomlinson, who, obviously, great. They grabbed Siaka Ika. Siaka Ika is probably the worst draft pick by any team in this year's draft. Siaka Ika absolutely sucks. He's horrible. He's so slow. He's so terrible at football. I hate him. I'm so glad the Seahawks did not grab him. He's horrible. He will fall out of the league. No. He's awful. And I honestly think that him being on the team makes them worse. I truly believe that. Anywho, that's the Browns and the Bengals, and I know the Bengals are the better team, but the Bengals lose week 1 games and they always lose to the Browns. They just always lose to the fucking Browns, and it don't make no sense. All right, so I don't know what's going on here. If I go to the okay, so here, if I switch it to here, then okay, I just got to do that, and then it'll do that. Okay, let's go to the previous week. All right, that makes sense then. All right, Texans Ravens. So Texans are likely gonna start CJ. Where the fuck? Okay. Wow, we're just going right through all the AFC South teams. Texans are likely going to start CJ Stroud, which is fine. I don't think he needs to sit. I think he's fine. But they got Devin Singletary. He's a pretty decent backup. I like him. Robert Woods is a good addition for them. They also grabbed Tank Dell, who I think is fucking awesome. I love Tank Dell. They grabbed Xavier Hutchinson. I like him. And Amari Rogers. So just a lot of good weapons. They got Dalton Schultz, who obviously we know he's great. They grabbed Juice Scruggs, which was a very horrible pick in my opinion. I don't get why you would trade up for someone that you could have gotten in the 6th. Doesn't make much sense to me. And then they grabbed Jarrett Patterson in the 5th. Jarrett Patterson is not even arguably. Jarrett Patterson is a better center than Juice Scruggs, so that doesn't make much sense. I don't know why they have Juice starting. Jarrett Patterson is the better player. Then they also traded up, got Will Anderson Jr. He's a clear starter. He's going to be great for them. I love him. They got Henry To'oTo'o, who, he's all right. I don't love him. I don't hate him. He's all right. He's a good depth piece for them, but I really don't think he's a starter, per se. And yeah, so they did add some great pieces with Will Anderson and CJ Stroud. They got some good guys in the offseason. Dalton Schultz, Amari Rogers, Denzel Perryman. But yeah, I think the Texans will. I don't know if CJ Stroud can really carry them. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do. Maybe they'll do good because I love CJ and I want him to do good. But I don't know if he will. But I think he went to the wrong situation. But I hope he does well. All right, now on to the Bengals. Nope. Now on to the Ravens, who extended Lamar Jackson and gave him 30,000 receivers. So they added Keaton Mitchell late, who I really like Keaton Mitchell. I think he was a good addition. They added Nelson Aguilar and Zay Flowers in the first. Zay Flowers is real good. He's Antonio Brown, but they had Zay Flowers, Nelson Aguilar, Andy Isabella, Dante Demas Jr. in the draft, and they added Andrew Voorhees, who they traded up into the They traded up into the 7th to grab Andrew Voorhees. That was an absolute steal for them. Andrew Voorhees is an amazing player. He would have been close to a first-round pick this year had he not torn his ACL at the Combine. So next year he's a 100% starter for them. So that is a great pick. They also added Brandon Kipper. Not too high on him, but it's a good depth piece. They got him late. That's fine. They still have Roquan Smith, who's great for them. They added Q Blue Kelly. I think that's how you pronounce it. I was always calling him Caillou, but they have Q Blue Kelly. And I think he's a great player. He is pretty undersized. He's like 5'8". But I think he's a really good player. They added Rocky Sin as well in the offseason. He's a great cornerback, and they have a loaded secondary. Then they have David Ajabo, who they picked up last year, and he was injured all year, except for the last 3 games, I think, but he didn't really do much in those. So he's back fully, as well as they grabbed Trenton Simpson, who was, for a lot of people, the number 1 linebacker in the class, although he fell to the 3rd. But they grabbed him, and I think he's a great depth piece for them who could eventually turn into a starter. So the Ravens definitely did a lot. If they stay healthy, I think they'll be great. And in week 1, they are definitely healthy. So they should be able to win that game. Wouldn't be surprised if Lamar gets hurt week 1. Raiders Broncos. Now the Broncos did a lot. Raiders did something. I've always liked Jimmy G. You know, not a lot of people have, but I've always liked him, and I think, I think he's a good quarterback for them. They should have kept Derek Carr. I think Jimmy G and Derek Carr are the same player. Jimmy G just has the injury shit, you know. I think they're on like very equal levels, but I think Jimmy G will be fine. They also added Brian Hoyer as a backup, another former Patriot. They were all about the Patriots here. They added Jacoby Myers, another Patriot, in free agency, as well as Philip Dorsett, another Patriot, in free agency. They picked up Michael Mayer. After signing Austin Hooper and O.J. Howard in free agency, they picked up Michael Mayer, who will most likely start over Austin Hooper. Then they still have Chandler Jones. I thought that was only like a 1-year deal that they signed him to, but I guess not. They grabbed Tyree Wilson in the first, who I don't love him, but at where they got him, that's fine value. I think he'll probably start if he's not injured, you know. Byron Young, when they took this pick, I thought it was the edge rusher Byron Young, and I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. Dude, they got Max Crosby and Chandler. What is going on with my speaking? They got Max Crosby and Chandler Jones, and then they added Tyree Wilson and Byron Young. That's fucking insane. They're going to have the best pass rush in the league. And then I found out it was Byron Young, the interior lineman. And I don't like that pickup. I think that was too early for him. I'm not a huge fan. They also grabbed Nesta Jade Silvera, who it was a late round pick. What are you going to do? Jacorian Bennett, it's another addition. I liked him. Seahawks met with him, so I would have been fine if they took him later on. They grabbed him. I'm fine with that. Honestly, I thought Hunter Renfrow might be traded during the draft. He didn't, but they grabbed some patriotic pieces for this team and a lot of defensive pieces in the draft. Now we look at the Bronx, who did, a lot in the offseason. They added Sean Payton. It was a pretty good pickup. They gave up a first for him, but that's fine. It was the 29th pick. What are you going to do? They added Jared Stidham, who was the Raiders' starting quarterback. So that's great for them. They added Samaje Perine, who is a great backup for Javonte Williams. I love that for them. Their wide receiver core, I still don't love it, but they added Marvin Mims, who is in the draft, who is a good addition for them. He's a nice depth piece. They added Ben Powers, who I think they overpaid him a lot, but it's fine. Also, Mike McGlinchey, decent signing. They added Kyle Fuller, which doesn't make much sense because Russ played with him in Seattle, and when Kyle Fuller started, Russ was getting sacked constantly. So I don't know about bringing him over. They grabbed Alex Forsyth as well, who was a late round pick. That's a fine grab. And then on the defensive side, they still have Randy Gregory. I hope Nick Bonito can do some more this year. He didn't do a lot last year. They added Drew Sanders, who I think was a great pickup. He went in the 3rd, which was crazy. J.L. Skinner in the 5th was unbelievable. That was an unbelievable addition, as well as Riley Moss, the white cornerback. But J.L. Skinner and Riley Moss are two great players. I love them both. I really wanted J.L. Skinner for the Hawks. I thought he's like a Cam Chancellor, So I think they made a lot of good additions, and I think Russ just had a down year. I think the Broncos will be a lot better this year. I think Russ just wanted to do something nice for the Seahawks, so he lost all those games, and then just so they could get a good pick, and now he's gonna ball out. I'm going with the Broncos to win this first game here. I think I think it'll be a good one. I think it'll be a good one. Dolphins Chargers. Now that's a good game to start week 1. I like that one. Let's look at the Dolphins a bit. We know they added Jalen Ramsey, who they paid a third and a third string tight end for. So that was fine. That was a great deal. They got Mike White as a backup, who's better than Skylar Thompson, so that's good. They added Chosen Anderson, Robbie Anderson, but this dude did like pretty much nothing in his career and then renamed himself Chosen. They added Braxton Berrios, who's great. I don't know why the Jets let him go. He's great. They also have Freddie Swain, who they added, and this is a great receiving core there. Devin Achane is a great running back. I think he starts because Raheem Mostert is probably going to get injured immediately. That's crazy that Myles Gaston fell all the way to a 4th string. That is crazy to me. But they didn't address offensive line with their first pick, which I think was a big mistake. I don't really get what they're going to do there. They definitely need offensive line, so I don't get it. But whatever. But yeah, they added Jalen Ramsey. They have a great secondary here. Xavier Howard, Javon Holland, and Jalen Ramsey together is gonna be pretty unbelievable. They also added Cam Smith, who I don't see on here. I don't get why he's not on here. Maybe they didn't like officially sign him yet, so that's why he's not on here. But they did add Cam Smith, who's a great depth piece for them. I mean, he's starter level potential, so it's just great depth for them. He could slide into kind of a safety role, but I don't know if he'd be great at that. Then let's look over at the Chargers, who dropped their second anime schedule release, which was fucking awesome. It had Mike McDaniels hitting the vape. The TCU Chargers, the Chargers University. They added Max Duggan, TCU. He's a decent pickup. I mean, 7th round guy, you know. They added Quentin Johnston, who I don't get it. I mean, I know they added Darius Davis later on, who's a speedster. But in the first round, I'm surprised they didn't go Jordan Addison. You guys need a speedy guy. You don't need Mike Williams 2.0. Now they have Mike Williams and Mike Williams 2.0. That doesn't make much sense to me, but he's still a good receiver, so it's fine. They have Jordan McFadden. They still have SJD, who I thought he was only on a 1-year deal. He's not. They added Eric Kendricks, who's great. They added Diane Henley, who I think he's fine. He's definitely needs developing. I think he'll be pretty good. Tully Tuapolota, I like him. I think he could be a good starter for them eventually. Hopefully J.C. Jackson is actually healthy this year. But they added Gerard Clark, who's, I mean, he's all right. You know, he's a later round pick, so not much to say about that. But overall, they did a decent job in free agency and in the draft. I think, like, it's hard to talk about them. It's hard to talk about them saying, like, oh, they're going to be great because, I mean, they made a bunch of Super Bowl winning moves last year, and look what happened. You know, it's hard to say with the Chargers because, you know, I'd love for them to do great, but you never really know. So, I'm yawning a lot, man. Fuck. But, yeah. I'm gonna give this one to the Dolphins here, um, just because I think their defense is just gonna be able to, do a good amount against the Chargers. I just don't. I think the Chargers are a better team on paper, but they're the Chargers. You can't really pick. It's kind of like flipping a coin, whether they're going to be good one week or shitty the next. So you don't really know. Then we got Bills Jets. This is going to be an intriguing game because whatever happens, it's going to be a huge story throughout the NFL. It's a Monday night game, so that's all anyone's going to be talking about. The build up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's all anyone's going to be talking about until the Thursday night game. So if the Bills win, it's going to be, oh my God, Aaron Rodgers made a huge mistake. The Jets made a huge mistake. They gave up all this for a quarterback, and he can't even win them games. Or if the Jets win, it's going to be like, oh my God, Jets are going to the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers was the answer. Whatever happens, there's going to be a huge reaction either fucking way. Like fucking last year with the Seahawks Broncos game. It was like, oh my God, fucking Russell Wilson lost. He's a complete bust, which actually ended up being true. So it wasn't really an overreaction. But he's not going to be a bust this year. So the Bills added Damian Harris. Stolen from the Patriots. A lot of interdivisional moving around in the AFC East. You notice that? Like Braxton Berrios went from the Jets to the Dolphins. Damian Harris from the Patriots to the Bills. Mike Gesicki from the Dolphins to the Patriots. There's a lot of moving around. Don't make much sense. So the Bills, yeah, they added Damian Harris. They grabbed Justin Shorter, he's fine. He's like 6'4". He's a nice depth piece to have. They had a Dalton Kincaid. I don't like him. It just doesn't. It doesn't make. I mean, he's decent. It just doesn't make much sense to trade up in the first round, and then take Dawson Knox 2.0. You'd think they would go for a tight end like Michael Mayer or even Darnell Washington, who's not Dawson Knox. It's like you'd think what they're missing is a good tight end that doesn't play the exact same way as Dawson Knox. But they decided, no, we're just gonna get a younger Dawson Knox in Dalton Kincaid. And you know what? If that's what they want to do, fine. But it is not. No. God. All right. Connor McGovern is here. Decent. They added Osiris Torrance late in the second. It was a great pickup. He fell for health reasons, I think. Nick Broker, another decent depth addition there. They still have Von Miller. Hopefully he'll be healthy by week 1. He should be. But we'll see. I don't know if Damar Hamlin is still gonna play. He's still on the fucking thing. But whatever. They have Dorian Williams, who is kind of the replacement for Tremaine Edmonds, which he's a decent replacement. You can't say too much about him. He's kind of a developmental piece. They had Poona Ford just like a week ago, I think. Yeah, he's a good addition for them. Jesus. I don't know if he's really third string, but I think he's more in this area between starter and rotational piece. But that's a good addition for them. They didn't do a whole lot in free agency or in the draft. There's wasn't a lot they could do. They didn't have many draft picks, so. Also, I don't think everything pops up on there because, they're not officially signed. I don't know. So, the New York Jets. New York Jets, obviously the big one. They added Aaron Rodgers, who we'll see what he does. And then they added Alan Lazard, Mecole Hardman Jr., Randall Cobb, Denzel Mims. They added a lot of receivers for Aaron Rodgers. They added Zach Kuntz. Added Dwayne Brown. All right. Joe Tippmann, who's likely going to be their starting center. Connor McGovern, I thought it just said he was on the Bills. Did it not? I'm so confused. Didn't it just say that he was on the Bills? Connor McGovern? Yeah. What? I'm so confused. No, I don't even need to open a new tab. No. My computer gets real slow. Whenever I'm running a fucking, like something like this that's like interactive, whenever I'm doing that, or like doing one of those like draft simulators, my computer gets so fucking slow and doesn't like to do anything. I'm so confused. Connor McGovern. He's on the Jets. There are two Connor McGoverns. Clearly I'm just learning this. There are two Connor McGoverns. There's a Connor McGovern guard that was with the Cowboys and then joined the Bills. And then there's Connor McGovern, the center, that was with the Broncos and then joined the Jets. What the fuck? Well, that's confusing. Fuck. That's weird. I don't like that. And I don't like that I just learned that. That's weird. Alright. Anyway. They added Joe Tippmann, who's probably going to start over Connor. If like their offensive line can stay healthy, they should be alright, you know? They added Al Woods, who could be a nice rotational piece. They added Will McDonald in the draft. Michael Clemens. CJ Mosley. But yeah, they added Trey Dean out of Florida. But they didn't really do a whole lot in the draft because they didn't have a whole lot of draft picks, you know? They traded back some and, you know, they got some stuff, but the main addition obviously is Aaron Rodgers and their first round pick Will McDonald, who was a huge reach. But you know, I think it's gonna be the same old Jets. I don't think Aaron is gonna win. I think it's gonna be the Bills, and I think everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my God, Aaron is a bust," you know. Whatever. Lions Chiefs. I don't get why they made this the starting game. It doesn't make much sense to me. But whatever. The NFL is going to do whatever they want to do. I don't think the Lions... Why am I yawning so fucking much? I don't think the Lions fucking deserve it. I think they're very overrated, very overhyped. Doesn't make much sense to me. That was gross. Alright. Well. Anyway. The Lions, especially with Jameson Williams suspended. Like, he's not playing in this game, so why? So, the Lions, they had a decent draft. They had a lot of guys that were in the top 50. They added Hendon Hooker, who's a good piece and potentially their future franchise quarterback. I like him a lot. Jahmyr Gibbs, they got a starting running back. He's really good. But, again, the Lions will be the Lions. Jameson Williams is suspended due to his gambling, so he's out for 6 games. They added Sam Laporta, who's good. He's an Iowa tight end. We know what happens with them. Noah Fant, George Kittle, etc. And they added Jack Campbell in the first. He's good. I like him. He was my linebacker 1. I like him a lot. I think he'll do really good here. They added CJ GJ or CGJ, however you want to say it. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I don't like it when people say CJ Gardner-Johnson. I like Chauncey better, because why wouldn't you want to say fucking Chauncey? If you have the opportunity to say Chauncey, why wouldn't you want to say Chauncey? Chauncey. But they added Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who for some reason is listed here as the second string cornerback behind Cam Sutton, who they are also added, but that doesn't make much sense. He's going to start. It doesn't make much sense to me. They added Brian Branch as well, so they're just completely beefing up their secondary, which is unbelievable. Just Cam Sutton, Kirby Joseph, Emmanuel Mosley, another addition, 1-year deal. Brian Branch, CGJ. I mean, unbelievable value here in that secondary. But yeah, they added some good pieces on both sides of the ball. I hope they do decent this year. I like the Lions, but I don't know. I don't know why they were picked for the openers. And then let's look at the Chiefs. Chiefs still don't have. They lost Frank Clark. They lost Frank Clark, so they take FIU with the last pick in the first round to replace Frank Clark. Fine. Keandre Coburn, I like him a lot. Good nose tackle. I think that was a great value pick. They grabbed him in the 5th or something, didn't they? No, actually, they grabbed him in the 4th. I don't remember. They grabbed him at some point. They also added Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is a decent addition. I mean, I don't know. There's not much to say about him. He's all right. You know. Yeah. Why am I fucking yelling so much? I hate it. They had a Jerome Carvin and Wanya Morris. Both depth pieces, you know, not a lot there. They have Justin Reed, L'Jarius Sneed. So they're the Chiefs, you know, of course they're going to be great. They had a Drew Tranquill, who, that was a fucking betrayal, bro. And like a complete fucking betrayal for him to go to the Chiefs from the Chargers. That was unbelievable, and fucking fuck you. You got BJ Thompson. I mean, you know, it's the Chiefs. They're going to do good. We know they're going to be good. And we know the Chiefs are going to win this game against the Lions. Let's not overhype the Lions. Let's not start overrating them. It's the Lions. They're the Lions, okay? Let's calm down with that. All right. 49ers versus the Steelers. It's a decent game. Because the Steelers did a lot. 49ers didn't. So, alright. So, they added Sam Darnold in the offseason. He's probably going to start this game because I don't know if Lance or Purdy are healthy. They have, their receiving core is not good. They added Ronnie Bell, who's probably more of a second string. I don't know why he's listed here. They added Cameron Latu in the 3rd, which I don't really understand for them. Doesn't make much sense. I don't get it. Oh. They added Javon Hargrave in the offseason. That's like the one big move that they made. Everything else, not really. Jair Brown. Jair Brown is like, he's like Jaquan Brisker, but not quite at that level. You know, he similar style as him, but he's not at the Jaquan Brisker level, you know. They really didn't do a lot. They added Robert Beal late, he is not great. I mean, and then they grabbed a fucking kicker in the third. And the 49ers, they didn't do shit. They lost a lot of their offensive line. So I don't think the 49ers are going to be as good this year. Everyone's still saying that they're going to win the NFC West. They're going to put up 13 wins. It doesn't make much sense to me. You know, I don't get it. I don't get why the 49ers are overrated now at this point. Because they lost a lot of pieces and didn't add much other than Javon Hargrave. You know, hang on. Alright, we're good. I was just drinking root beer from a 2-liter bottle, and I don't need that image of me on the internet. So we look here at the Steelers. They still have Mitch Trubisky, which I don't get why they didn't cut him. They added Allen Robinson, he was a steal. They swapped sevenths with the Rams to get Allen Robinson. So that was just a great pickup by them. So they have a pretty good receiving core now at this point. They added Broderick Jones. He's a starting tackle for them. I like him. And then they have Keanu Benton, starting nose tackle for them for sure. They have Nick Herbig, who, you know, relative. They're all about the relatives here. You know, they love that. They added Patrick Peterson in free agency. I think he's a great grab for them. I think he's going to be great for developing some of these younger guys that they have on here. But yeah, the Steelers definitely had a good fucking draft. They also grabbed Darnell Washington, who fell for fucking, you know, health reasons. I don't really get it. Having him on the field is like having 6 offensive linemen on the field. I don't really get why he fell so far. It doesn't make sense. He's got to be a great player. I have a problem with Darnell Washington because he's 6'7". The way he moves, his knees are going to be blown out by the time his rookie contract is over. So he's kind of a couple year player. He's not a long-term piece. But here, I'm going to go with a shocker and pick the Steelers. Just because they did a lot. I think their team is going to be a lot better. And 49ers, they didn't do a lot. They lost some pieces. And I don't think they'll be as good. Titans, Saints, we're going to look here at their depth chart. The depth chart for both of them. So Titans added Will Levis, of course. They added Mayo Man, who no one wanted in the first. No one wanted anything to do with him other than his girlfriend. But they added Will Levis, who's definitely not third string. He's probably second. I still think Ryan Tannehill is going to start. I think the Titans could still look to trade Malik Willis. But they added Will Levis. He's an alright backup. Well, he's a pretty good backup for them. But I don't know about a starter. And they added Tajay Spears, who I love him, out of Tulane. He's great. But their receiving core is absolute dog shit. You know? What are they doing, man? What are they doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? their receiving core is shit. So I don't really know what the Titans are gonna do, you know? Who are you gonna throw to? You have Treylon Burks. That's it. You have fucking no one after that. I mean, look at this depth here. It's shit. It's absolute shit. Like, yeah, they added Peter Skoronski at pick 11. He's great. He's a starting guard for sure. But who are you going to throw to? You got no one. I don't like the Titans. They could be a bottom 5 team in the league this year. I don't like them at all. And I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do here. The only good thing they have going for them is that they have Ryan Stonehouse, really. But I don't like the Titans. That was like one of the worst places for Will Levis to go. It's a shit situation for him. I don't like them. I don't know what they're going to do here. Then we have the Saints, they obviously added Derek Carr. Derek Carr's good. They also added Jake Haener, he's a good depth piece for them. Like Derek Carr, Jameis Winston, and Jake Haener, and Taysom Hill, of course. That's like probably the best quarterback room in the league. They have Alvin Kamara, who I don't think he starts. Then they have Jamal Williams, who is the starter, and Kendre Miller, who this could be one of the best running back rooms in the league too. They added A.T. Perry to their receiving core. You know, he's all right. It's like it says here, he's a second rounder. They just added Foster Moreau, who he a couple months ago he said he was taking time off because he had like the worst fucking type of cancer in the world, and then he comes back, which is kind of crazy. I hope he's doing all right, and you know, I want to see him do good. You know, I hope he has a fucking breakout year. And then the Saints, of course, added Brian Brzee in the first, who, if he's healthy, that'll be great. He's a great player. And they also added Isaiah Foskey, or Foskey, however you want to pronounce it. He's also a great piece for them. You know, I think they did some good shit in the offseason, and I think they have a pretty good shot at winning their division this year. I think Derek Carr kind of just gets them one step closer. Derek Carr and adding Jamal Williams is great, you know. Jamal Williams and Kendre Miller, they're definitely going to be a run-heavy team here. But I think they'll be pretty good in their division. You know, I don't know about the whole NFC, but I'm going with the Saints here. Then we got Eagles, Patriots. I mean, obviously this, but we're gonna go through the teams. Still, Patriots are gonna be the worst team in the AFC East. Like, let's be honest, man. Let's be completely honest. So, they added Marcus Mariota, great backup there, and Tanner McKee, who sucks. He's a tree in the pocket. I don't get that. Whatever. So they added, I think Rashad Penny starts over DeAndre Swift. I think he's better. But Rashad Penny and DeAndre Swift, both great, but both are injury prone, which is a problem for them. But still, pretty good. The receiving core is still great. I feel like, didn't they add another good receiver? Or am I going crazy? Because Watkins is not... He's not the ideal wide receiver. I'm confused. I feel like they added a receiver, right? They didn't. Huh. Okay. I don't know why I thought they did. I mean, they got Jaden Hasselwood and Joseph Ngata as UDFAs, I believe. But then they Grant Calcaterra, man. Yeah, so they added Tyler Steen, who I think that was a big reach on him. I don't like him, but it was a late second round pick. What are you gonna do? They added Jalen Carter, who's just amazing value for him at 9th overall. They also added Mora Ojimo, who was great value. They got him in like the 6th, I think. That was just unbelievable. Then they added Nolan Smith, just teaming up all these Georgia boys together. And Nolan Smith was great. I wanted the Hawks to grab him. They added Sidney Brown, who's, you can see here, he's a starter. He's great. I love him a lot. They did lose Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, but I think Sidney Brown is kind of the replacement there, and I like him a lot. He has kind of a Troy Polamalu play style, and I like him a lot. They also added Keely Ringo, who's not great, but it's fine. He's a depth piece. He's a fine addition for them. And then we look at the Patriots. Gross. All right, Patriots. Trace McSorley. Patriots. They lost Damian Harris. They added Juju Smith-Schuster and overpaid him. They added Kayshon Boutte, Had Kayshon Boutte, who's, he was shit last year. I mean, in the beginning of last year, he was projected as a first round pick, and then he was shit. They also added Demario Douglas to their wide receiver core. Mike Gesicki, who will start over Hunter Henry. He's a lot better. But they added City Sow, who I think he was a big reach for them. He's not going to be a starter, as well as Antonio Mafi, but they added City Sow like very early, and I don't get why they did that. Antonio Mafi, he was a fine addition. Again, he's not going to start, but good depth piece. They added Keon White in the 2nd, and he's fine. He wasn't my favorite edge rusher, but he was fine. What they really did well on was their secondary draft picks. They added Christian Gonzalez, who for some was cornerback 1 in the class. For me, it was Devin Witherspoon, which is great because the Seahawks grabbed him. But they added Marte Mapu, who I thought he was going to go in the 4th or 5th. They grabbed him in the 3rd, which I'm fine with. I'm super high on him. He's a safety linebacker hybrid. I think he's probably more of a linebacker, but he could do either. He's, again, a Cam Chancellor type, and I like that a lot. But then they went and added fucking a kicker and a punter in the draft, which... Whatever, dude. Whatever. Alright, we got Cardinals Commanders next. So, let's take a look at them. Let's go with the Cardinals, Cardinals are likely going to be shit this year. Kyler Murray's out for most of the year, probably. Half the year, at least. So, they have Kyler Murray. Clayton Tune may start, and that would be crazy. Imagine Clayton Tune takes his job. I like Clayton Tune. I mean, he was Mel Kiper's 5th QB, which doesn't mean shit, but Clayton Tune, he was good. I like him. Um, they have DeAndre Hopkins, who could still get traded, you know. I mean, they might be in a tank year. So DeAndre Hopkins could still get traded. In that case, Michael Williams would take over. Michael Williams, am I having a stroke? Michael Wilson would take over. You know, they don't, I mean, they don't have the best fucking wide receiver room. They don't have the best, roster overall. They added traded back and then traded back up for Paris Johnson Jr. He's really good. He was my number one tackle in the class who could switch to guard, and here they have him listed as guard. And then they added B.J. Ojulari, who I liked him a lot. I think he was a good addition for them. They added Owen Popo, which these guys do not play the same position. He's an edge rusher. He's definitely an interior linebacker. But they added Owen Popo, who's undersized, but he's a fine addition. I like him. Garrett Williams was another good grab. I like Garrett Williams a lot. As well as Catrell Clark. I think they kind of went overkill by adding both of those. But again, they're both good players, and I'm fine with that. But yeah, Cardinals not super great. And then we move on to the Washington Commanders. We look at their depth chart. They added Jacoby Brissett, who I hope isn't the starter, because I think Sam Howell could be that guy. I think he's a good player, and I want to see him play some more. They added Chris Rodriguez Jr. He's all right, third string running back. You know, he's fine. Their wide receiver room is pretty fucking weak. You know, I don't know what they're gonna do there. And there's still talks about them trading Chase Young. As a Seahawks fan, dude, I'd love to grab Montez Sweat from them. I don't want Chase Young unless it's for like a fourth. But yeah, they added KJ Henry. He's fine. They added Emmanuel Forbes, that was a shit pick. He's fine if you grab him in the second, but picking Emmanuel Forbes over Christian Gonzalez? Are you crazy? Grabbing him over Christian Gonzalez and Deonte Banks and Joey Porter Jr. and even Julius Brents is just crazy. You know, I don't like him. Emmanuel Forbes, he weighs 100 pounds soaking wet. I don't like him. So, you know, I'm not a fan of that pick. They also added Quay Martin, or Jartavius Martin, as it's listed here. He's a good safety. I like him. Pretty good addition. They stole Cody Barton from the Seahawks, so I still fucking hate them for that. Fuck you guys. And I wish that we kept Cody Barton because he's a good player. I like him. So for this one, I'm going to have to go with the Commanders just because I think Sam Howell could ball out. I think he could surprise a lot of people this year. Then we look at Panthers-Falcons, who I think both of them are going to have kind of a crisis of their own. In the Falcons' QB scenario is pretty shit. They have Taylor Heineke, who's going to start. Desmond Ridder is not the starter for them. It's going to be Taylor Heineke. Desmond Ridder is... Can you load, please? Desmond Ridder is not a good player. I don't like him. It's going to be Taylor Heineke that starts. They have a great running back room, though. Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, Cordero Patterson. It's one of the best in the league, if not the best. They added Scotty Miller, Mac Hollins. They added Penny Hart. So, some good moves. None of them were in the draft, but still, good moves. They have Jonnu Smith, who's a nice addition if Kyle Pitts is still fucking hurt. Matthew Bergeron, I don't think he's a starter, even though he's listed here. I don't like that. Tremaine Ifedi, man. God. They have Chris Lindstrom and Kayla McGarry. Calais Campbell, they added. He's a pretty good addition in free agency. God, they still have Arnold Ebiketie. I hope he does some more this year. I'd like to see him do some shit. They added Jesse Bates and Jeff Okuda. Some good additions to their secondary. They also added Clark Phillips in the draft. And they have Trey Flowers, who's shit. He doesn't deserve to be on the roster. They added Ikenna Enechukwu. Who was a late round pick. In my book, he was a 7th round pick. So overall, they made some pretty good additions in free agency and in the draft. I think the Falcons could surprise some people and even win that division next year. I mean, it's a toss up. That division's really just up for grabs for whoever wants it. So the Panthers, of course, they added Bryce Young and Andy Dalton. Bryce Young isn't going to start, though. Andy Dalton is going to start, which they've already stated, which is smart. I was saying they should do that with AR-15. The Colts should. And it looks like the Panthers are going to do that with Bryce Young. It'd be nice if Andy Dalton started the full season, but he'll likely start 4 to 8 weeks. But yeah, Bryce Young is a great addition. So is Andy Dalton. That's a good quarterback room. They could still trade Matt Corral. I've heard talks about the Seahawks maybe trying to get them because John and Pete did like him in last year's draft. They added Miles Sanders, who's a great pickup for them. I like that a lot. They're going to have Adam Thielen, great wide receiver addition there, as well as Jonathan Mingo. You know, they're really. I think Jonathan Mingo is the DJ Moore replacement. I like him. I think he is pretty much equivalent to DJ Moore in that way. Hayden Hurst he's fine. I mean, he's fine. He's not, you know. They added Chandler Zavala, who's fine. He's a good depth piece. I don't think he starts for them. I'm spacing out. So, anyway, they added Jamie Robinson, good addition to their secondary. They also added Bumper Pool, who I liked as potentially like a undrafted free agent. They added Rajon Wright, good depth piece again. So their defense was already pretty complete last year. So they kind of just needed to beef up this offense, and they did that. Trading away DJ Moore didn't help, but they added some good replacements. They added a good running back, and they're starting QB for the future. So I'm gonna go with the Panthers to win this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes either way. Then Bucks Vikings, both teams, had a severe decline this year. The Vikings lost a lot of their defensive players. Their defense sucked, but they lost all the good ones, you know. Just look at this defense. Who do you want here? They have Marcus Davenport. Great addition, but you know, this defense, I don't know what to do. I think this is going to be the worst defense in the league. I don't know what you do here. They added Evan Pace Jr. and Andre Carter in as undrafted free agents, and then those were both huge steals, although Andre Carter isn't even listed on here, is he? He's not even listed on here. Wow. That's crazy. Alright. How is Zadarius Smith not starting? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. They also added Ja'Kellen Roy, who they took a little early, in my opinion. But, yeah, I mean, they added Jordan Addison, so they have a pretty good receiving core, including T.J. Hawkinson. They added Dwayne McBride, who's great. They got him wicked late. I think he's great. I think he's better than Alexander Madison. But I don't really know. They really didn't get too many good additions in the offseason or in the draft, and they lost too much. I don't think the Vikings are going to be good this year. And with the Bucs, I mean, they lost Tom Brady. That's the number one thing. And they lost Shaq Mason. You know, they added Cody Mock. Is he a good replacement? No, probably not. Yeah, I mean, look at how thin this receiving core is. They added Trey Palmer, but I mean, you know, whatever. They had added Baker Mayfield in free agency. He's a fine addition. I mean, he's obviously going to start, but I don't know what they do at quarterback in this situation. They have Kalijah Kancey, who I'm not a huge fan of, and I don't really understand where he fits in here. But to me, it looks like, okay, they signed a free agent quarterback. You know, they traded away their starting guard. You know, it looks like with what they picked up here, with all of these defensive players, with Yaya and Kalijah Kancey, and adding Ryan Neal, it looks like they're just trying to build up their defense so that next year they can get their starting quarterback and then they could be contenders. I think this is a tank year for the Bucs, and that's why I'm going to have to go with the Vikings to win it. But again, both teams declined severely in my opinion, and I don't know who wins that game or how either of them do this year. Then we go here, the Packers versus the Bears. Now the Packers, the big one, they lost Aaron Rodgers. They also lost Alan Lazard and the other guy. So now they're just stuck with these young receivers, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, who they just added, Dontavian Wicks, who they just added, Samori Toure, who they added last year, Bo Melton, who they added last year, you know, Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft, who they added this year, and Deuce Watts. They added Sean Clifford, who was just unbelievable. I don't know why they took him. He was 100% going to be an undrafted free agent. He's not good at football. He's very bad. He is so bad at football. He's so bad. He's so bad at football, and I don't understand it. They added Lou Nichols in the draft, and you know they didn't. I mean, you know, they've really just focused on their tight ends, who they passed on Darnell Washington to get Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft, 2 tight ends in the second round. Just doesn't make much sense. Hopefully Quay Walker can fucking behave this year. They added Lucas Van Ness. I think that was early for him. They added Carl Brooks. Not a fan of his. They added Brenton Cox Jr. Again, not a fan of his. Carrington Valentine. I mean, what did they do in the offseason? Really, Anthony Johnson Jr.? He's all right, but I mean, they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. Anders Carlson. Why did they grab him? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. Packers, severe decline, not just because Aaron Rodgers left, just because all of their draft picks sucked ass. All right, then we look at the Chicago Bears. They added P.J. Walker and DJ Moore, maybe get some of that chemistry back. But yeah, that was great for them. They added Dante Foreman. I like him a lot. And Rashawn Johnson and Travis Homer, just a lot of running backs. It was great for them. I think Tyler Scott may eventually be a starter. I don't know, and I don't know how long Chase Claypool stays there. But DJ Moore, Chase Claypool, and Tyler Scott, it's a pretty good receiving core. Added Robert Tonyan, who I think could start over Kmet. They added Darnell Wright, who's the best right tackle in the class. So that was a great grab by them. They added Alex Leatherwood. He's not good. I think they have a very young team. They grabbed Tyreek Stevenson, who's pretty fucking good. I like him. He's real speedy. Gervon Dexter was definitely their worst pick. I don't like him. I mean, him and Siaka Ika are just, I don't like either of them. I'm not a fan. Zach Pickens, they grabbed him a little earlier than I would have, but that was a fine grab. Noah Sewell, another fine grab. They signed Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards in free agency, both amazing additions. So the Bears definitely did some shit, and I'm gonna go with the Bears. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bears. Although I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers this year are like the Seahawks last year. You know, wouldn't be surprised. Then we go Rams, Seahawks. You know, let's go Cowboys, Giants, because I'm going to talk about this one for forever. Let's go Cowboys, Giants. Let's look at these two. Divisional matchup. Please work. Okay. Cowboys and Giants. So, look at the Cowboys. They added Deuce Vaughn, who is, I love him. I love Deuce. He's really short. I love him. But, yeah, I don't know about the Cowboys. They added Brandon Cooks, who's good. I like him. But they lost Dalton Schultz and didn't replace him with anyone good. They grabbed Luke Schoonmaker in the second. This dude was a 4th, 5th round pick. He's not good. And I don't know. I don't get it. And their offensive line situation is kind of shit, you know? Tyron Tyler. It's kind of shit. I mean, he's fine. But, I don't know. They added Mozzie Smith, who I wanted the Hawks to get, so I'm mad at them for that. But Mozzie Smith is real good. I like him a lot. DeMarvion Overshown, he's also a real good guy. I like him. Stephon Gilmore is a pretty good addition for their secondary. So they got a pretty good secondary here. And yeah, not much else after that. Viliami Fehoko, he's an addition. You know, they didn't do a whole lot, but the Mozzie Smith addition is definitely a good one for them. I like that, as well as the Stephon Gilmore one. Then we look at the New York Giants, the New Jersey Giants. We go to their depth chart. Maybe. Okay. So they still haven't re-signed Saquon Barkley. They just have him on a franchise tag, which not a good idea. Eric Gray is who the running back they added in the draft. I like him a lot. And they grabbed him pretty late, so I think it was great value for them. They have Jalen Hyatt here. I don't know why Isaiah Hodgins is listed as the starting receiver, but they added Jalen Hyatt, who's really good, could be their wide receiver 1. Darren Waller is a great tight end, so it was great to trade for him. And they added JMS, who is one of the best centers in the draft. He's definitely going to start for them. That's great. They added Bobby Okereke in a free agency. That was just an outstanding pickup. I love that for them. Deonte Banks, they traded up to get him. I wouldn't have traded up, but he's a good player. And it's good that they found their starting cornerback. Yeah. Um, that's about all I could say about them. This is a classic division matchup. But as much as I hate to do it, I'm going to go with the Cowboys just because they usually just mop the floor with the Giants. And I don't know if they'll mop the floor, but I'm just going to go with the Cowboys just because. Then, last game here, Rams-Seahawks. Let's look at the Rams first. Fuck the Rams. But let's look at the Rams first. Okay. So, let's look at the Rams here. Depth chart. So, I don't even know if Matthew Stafford is healthy, but they did add Stetson Bennett in the draft. I mean, he's not going to start. I mean, let's be real. He's not going to start. Their wide receiver situation is not great. They added Puka Nacua, and he was listed as an undrafted free agent for me. They added Steve Avila, who I like him a lot. Definitely the best guard in the class. But I like him a lot. That was a great addition for them. So props to them. Kobe Turner, he's not a starter. He is not a starter. I had him as like a 5th round grade. I'm not a huge fan of him. But Byron Young, the edge rusher, he's great. Not the defensive tackle, the edge rusher. That one's great. And that's who they added. So he's great. THT, he's again, he's undersized, but he's good. He's real good. I like him. He's a speedy guy. I like him a lot. But yeah, it's still the Rams. I think they could be tanking this year again. And now we look at the Seahawks, at what we've done. And this is where I'm going to talk a lot, probably. I'll try not to, but I might. Okay, please load, because fuck you. There you go. So their quarterback situation still only Geno Smith and Drew Lock. I have this weird feeling that Geno is going to get injured this year, and it's just going to completely fuck up our season. I really hope that doesn't happen. But we added Zach Charbonnet, who's the perfect complement to Ken Walker. I love that pick, as well as Kenny McIntosh, who is better than DJ Dallas. But we have the best running back room in the league now. I mean, Kenny, Zach, and Kenny is just unbelievable. Zach and Kenny are just in the passing game. They're unbelievable, and I love that. JSN was a steal. He was an absolute fucking steal at 20. And that was a great addition. Our wide receiver core is complete now. As long as he stays healthy, that is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable value there. We added Evan Brown in the offseason, who's our starting center. Don't know. Oluwatimi could start because he is a very good player, and that was great value to grab him in the 5th. I think that was great value. He could compete, and he could start there. I think if Oluwatimi is the starting center, then Evan Brown is going to slide over to right guard because he's definitely better than Phil Haynes. We also added Anthony Bradford, who could fight for a starting spot at right guard. Then we added Draymond Jones in free agency, who I love that. We added him on a 3-year deal. We got Jaron Reed back, who is, I love that. We got Bobby Wagner back, which is fucking awesome. We had Mike Morris in the 5th. I think he was a good pickup. And Derek Hall in the 2nd, another good pickup. I like Derek Hall a lot. I think he's going to be a good leader for this defense. Cameron Young is like the nose tackle position because we're still sticking to a 3-4 scheme. Brian Monet is injured, and he's probably not going to be playing for a lot of next year. But I don't know. I was hoping we'd add maybe Al Woods back, but that didn't happen. But yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do at nose tackle, if we're even gonna run anyone at nose tackle, but yeah. We also have, this isn't this doesn't show everything. Like, I don't fucking understand what's going on here. You know? Like, we have Devin Bush. We have Devin Bush, and it's not showing him anywhere on here. You know? So ESPN needs to get their shit together. But yeah, Jordan Brooks is going to be out for at least the first 4-6 weeks this season. So we have Devin Bush, he's a young guy, he's a fast learner. I think having Bobby Wagner there is really going to help him until Jordan Brooks comes back. We didn't grab any linebackers in the draft, which I was hoping we would, but we didn't. It's fine. We had a Devin Witherspoon at pick number 5. He's unbelievable. If we can beef up this defensive line a little bit more, I think we have the Legion of Boom too. Although I don't want to say that because, But Devin Witherspoon, he's unbelievable. He was my cornerback 1. I love adding him here. We also added Julian Love at safety, which I think Jamal Adams could slide up to linebacker, and then we start Julian Love here. We added Jarek Reed as a depth piece, and I like him a lot. I'm glad we have him here. Tyreek Smith is coming back. He was injured all year last year, so we'll get to see what he can do. Yeah. We also at wide receiver, we also have whatchamacallit. We added the good guy. The guy. Hang on, I gotta look because he's not on here. God, I don't remember. I need to fucking look it up. Oh my god. We did get Holton Ahlers as a third string QB. And yeah, they're not showing everything here because we also got MJ Anderson. We just got Mario Edwards, right? Yeah, we got Mario Edwards on a 1-year deal. Who's a pretty good addition, which they didn't update that. I gotta look. Who am I thinking of? Matt Landers. We grabbed him as an undrafted free agent. I like him a lot. I definitely think him and Jake Bobo, who is an undrafted free agent, those two, I think, have a really good chance at making the roster. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with the Seahawks here, just because I think they against the Rams and they have home field advantage. I gotta go for it there. So then let's go to week 2. And why is it like it's still like shit is weird? Like the Seahawks won, yet they're behind the Cardinals. That doesn't make much sense. Can I like do this? Yes. Reset. Oh no, it took away all my shit. What the fuck? Alright. Well, we can just... Yeah. Sure. Alright, so let's just re-click these and then see what happens. Because I don't really understand. Why it's not working. This shit is broken. Alright, now let's go to next week. No, it's still not fucking doing it, and I don't get why. Do I have to do this? Oh, I do. Okay. So I just have to do this, and then we're good. Wow, maybe this is biased, because I had all... Okay, so now we can kind of speed it up some more. Um, so this Chiefs Jags, I'm I'm gonna go with the Jags. It's a rematch of the of that playoff game, and I think the Jags come out. I think they come out swinging. I think they win that. Bengals Ravens. This is a tough one because these are always real tough matchups. And if the Ravens are healthy, I don't know about the Bengals defense. If the Ravens are healthy, I'm gonna go with the Ravens to win this one. Raiders Bills. I gotta go Bills here. And then Titans Chargers. I don't like the Titans. Like I said, they could be a bottom 5 team. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna have the Chargers winning that one. Texans Colts. This is a toss up. I think the Texans defense is gonna pull through, win here. Dolphins Patriots. Again, Patriots are the worst team in the AFC East. I like the Dolphins, and I don't I don't know that the Patriots have done enough to be competitive in this division. I'm going with the Dolphins, and here I'm going to go with the Steelers against the Browns. Jets Cowboys. I'm going to go Jets because this is when Aaron Rodgers is like, fuck you, we lost to the Bills. We're fine. Commanders Broncos. I'm going to go with the Broncos here. Vikings Eagles. Eagles win this one for sure. Bucks Bears. I'm going to have the Bears take this. Packers Falcons. Packers are taking this. Seahawks Lions is probably the most intriguing game of this week. Ravens Bengals and Jags Chiefs is another good one. But this one, 2 high-powered offenses and 2 hopefully really good defenses. So I don't know about this one. Again, I think the Seahawks are in kind of win now mode. I think the Seahawks are one of the best teams in the NFC. And again, I think the Lions are a bit overrated. I think the Seahawks still pull through a win here, but this one is kind of a toss-up. I don't know. I don't know who wins this one, but again, I like the Lions. But again, a rough start here, 0-2, a rough schedule there for them. Niners, Rams. Niners always own the Rams, so the Niners are going to stay owning the Rams. Giants, Cards. I think Giants win that one. And then Saints, Panthers. This is going to be a good matchup, but without Bryce Young starting, I think it's the Saints. And so I have a lot of away teams winning on this one. All right, let's go to the next week and let's update this shit. So let's just take a look here, a look-see. After 2 weeks, Bears are on top of their division, Saints on top here, Seahawks on top here, Eagles on top. And then here, wow, a lot of these teams are in it. Dolphins ahead. And we got Broncos ahead here, Jags ahead here. This is looking pretty good. I'll be right back, guys. Hang on. Ooh. All right. Now, week 3, Titans, Browns. I don't know. This is a hard game because I don't think either of these teams are very good. Everyone always loves to overrate the Browns at the beginning of the season. Like, people are projecting them to have 9-10 wins. But I don't know. I don't see that. But the Titans, I don't think they're going to lose too many. I'm going to pick the Titans to win this one here. Jags Texans is always a classic matchup, but I think Jags take this here. I still don't think the Texans are going to be very good. Although I hope they are, but I don't think they will be. Ravens Colts could be a unique matchup. I'm going to go with the Ravens here if they stay healthy. Again, if they stay healthy. Dolphins Bronx. This is going to be a really good game, I think. I think this is going to be a great game. This is going to be televised for sure. This is a really hard one to pick. So I think the Broncos will be really good. I think the Dolphins will be really good. I'm going to go with the Broncos here. I think they'll do it. Now here we're going to go with a shocker. I'm going to pick the Patriots because the Patriots just usually destroy the Jets, you know? So I'm going to go with the Patriots there to beat the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. Steelers Raiders. This is a hard one. I think the Raiders are going to pull through with a win here. They are at home. Okay, Bills, Commanders. Bills, Commanders. Ooh. I'm going to go with the Bills here, but I'm not sure for this game. I think it could be a toss-up. Vikings, Chargers. I'm going to go with the Chargers just because I don't think the Vikings defense is going to do shit. So I think Chargers win that, and I think Chiefs win this, and I think Bengals win this one. And then Giants, Niners. I think Niners are going to take this one. Lions are going to take this one. Saints versus Green Bay. I'm not sure about this one. I think, because the thing is, if Jordan Love is good, Packers could win their division. If Jordan Love isn't good, you know, I mean, what do you do? So I'm going to go with a Saints win here, but I wouldn't, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised either way. Panthers, Seahawks. Thing is here, Panthers and Seahawks always have had a different kind of rivalry. It's almost like a division rivalry between the Panthers and Seahawks. These games are always competitive. They're always tough. So it's a toss-up here. I think either team could win this. I'm going to go with the Panthers to win this one. But it's a toss-up. It could go either way. I'm hoping it's the Seahawks, but you never know. Okay, Cowboys, Cards. I'm going to go with the Cowboys here because, again, I don't think the Cards are very good. And then we're going to go with the Eagles here. All right. Dolphins, Bills. This one, we're going to update the standings there. This one, I think the Bills win it. Bills are off to a hot streak because Dolphins playing in Buffalo never works out well. And then here we are. The Browns always win the weird games that they're not supposed to win. I'm going to go with the Browns at home here to beat the Ravens. Texans, Steelers. Whew. Now, I don't think the Steelers are going to be that good. I think they're going to stay with around the 9-8, 8-1 kind of place where they've been forever. I'm going to go with the Texans here. I don't know. Could happen. Titans, Bengals, classic rematch. Bengals are going to win this one against the Titans. All right. Raiders, Chargers. This is always a good matchup to watch, and it's always close. I'm going to go with the Raiders here to pull this one out. Chiefs, wow. Patrick Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers. We finally get to see it. Hopefully neither of them is hurt. We finally get to see Mahomes versus Rodgers. I think Rodgers is going to pull this one out. I think he's going to do it. Falcons, Jags. I'm going to go with the Jags here. Jags stay undefeated at 4-0. Colts, Rams. Whew. Both of them have no wins. I'm going to go with the Colts here. They have a pretty good team. They just had a kind of a tough schedule, Broncos, Bears. Broncos are winning this one. Patriots, Cowboys. As much as I hate it, I'm sticking with the Cowboys to grab this one. Lions Packers. I'm gonna go with the Lions, of course. And Vikings Panthers. It's gonna be Panthers. Eagles Commanders. I think the Commanders are gonna sneak in a win here. They did it last year. I think they're gonna do it again. I'm gonna go with the Saints to win here. Then the Niners, and then Giants Seahawks. Monday Night Football. This is gonna be a really good game. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. Could go either way, but I just think the Seahawks are the more complete and the better team. Now let's go to the next week. Boom, boom. Update these standings here. Saints are 1 seed. Bills are 1 seed. And Chiefs are last in their division. Let's look at the undefeated teams. We have the Bills, Broncos, Jags, Saints, and that's it. Bears are still ahead of in their division. So that was a good one. All right, Jags, Bills. Oh, this is going to be such a fun game. 2 undefeated teams here. Jags, Bills. Oh, man, this is going to be a great game. I'm going to go with the Jags just because I think the Bills are a bit overrated. I think at this point I'm overrating the Jags and the Bills, at both having them both at 4-0. Then Colts, Titans. I'm going to go with the Colts here because I don't think either of these teams are going to be very good. Ravens, Steelers. Oh, this is a classic rivalry. I'm going with the Steelers to take it. I think that's going to be a good game. Russell Wilson and the Broncos versus Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Whew. This is going to be a really fun game to watch. I'm really going to like this game. I'm going to go with the Broncos. They stay undefeated. I like this. Whew. Wow, that's going to be a good one. Giants at Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are going to get run over in this game. I'm going to go with the Giants there. It's a shocker, but I'm going to go with the Giants. Then this one, Falcons are going to get their first win against the Houston Texans. Patriots, Saints. This one always tends to be like a toss-up, this game. I'm going to go with the Patriots, and I'm going to hand the Saints their first loss. Cardinals, Bengals. I think Bengals are going to take this. Chiefs, Vikings. Honestly, I'm going to throw in a shocker. Vikings win this one. Chiefs fall to 2-3. It could be like a couple years ago when the Chiefs, kind of started off horribly, and then they kind of found their rhythm, Raiders, Packers. I'm taking the Raiders here. Then Bears, Washington. This is a tough one. I think these two teams will be pretty evenly matched, but I think the Commanders are just the better team. Then we got Panthers, Lions. Panthers, Lions. This is going to be a good game. I'm going to go with the Panthers here. Eagles, Rams. I'm taking the Eagles in this one. And then Cowboys, Niners. I'm taking the Niners for sure. We can go to the next week and update our scores. The only undefeated teams are the Jaguars and the Broncos. Imagine looking at this a couple years ago and being like, dude, how would the Jags and the Broncos be undefeated after 5 weeks? They're at the top of their division. The Steelers are at the top of their division. Bears at the top of theirs. No way. Eagles at the top of theirs. Crazy. All right. And then we looky here. These are after the first bye week. So Bucks, Seahawks, Browns, and Chargers all coming off a bye. Broncos, Chiefs. This is going to be a good matchup. I look forward to this. Chiefs are going to hand them their first loss. Titans, Ravens. This is always a classic matchup. This is always a great matchup. isn't it? Plus, this one is in London, I believe. I'm going to go with the Titans here. Let's go, Titans. Let's go. But I'm going to go with the Titans. I think the Ravens will be facing injuries at this point. All right. Jags, Colts. Jags never lose this game against the Colts. That's going to be the Jags game to win. Raiders, Patriots. Oh, what a classic rivalry here. I'm going to go with the Raiders to win this one. Hang on, guys. All right, I'm back. Let's go. I no longer care about turning my camera off to do this. You know, if it was Barks root beer, I would turn my camera off. But I ain't embarrassed because I drink Mug. And Mug is where it's at. All right. Okay, so now Panthers, Dolphins. I'm going to hand this win to the Dolphins, but this one's a toss-up. Bengals, Seahawks. Seahawks always tend to do shitty coming out of the bye, so I'm going to go with the Bengals here. Browns off the bye versus the Niners. I'm going to hand it to the Niners. Saints, Texans. I got to go with the Saints here. Eagles, Jets. Wow, Eagles versus A-Rod and the Jets. That's going to be a good matchup. I'm going to go with the Jets at home to defeat the Eagles. Bills, Giants is going to be a good matchup too. That's going to be a real good matchup. That's Sunday Night Football. Huh, interesting. I'm going to go with the Bills here. Chargers off the bye are going to beat the Cowboys. It's an easy one there. Commanders versus Falcons. I'm going to go with the Falcons. I think they'll run all over the Commanders. Bucks off the bye are going to lose to the Lions. Vikings, Bears. I'm going to go with the Vikings here. And then Cards, Rams. I'm going to have the Cards win in this one. And, wow. Okay. Let's update those standings. Jags are the only undefeated team at 6-0. Bills, Patriots. I think Bills are gonna win this one for show. Then we got Colts and Browns. Browns are last in their division. Colts are nearly last in their division. I'm gonna go with the Browns here, but I'm not sure. That one's a toss-up. Chargers, Chiefs. This one is a classic. Chiefs are gonna win at home. Jump up to 4-3. Saints and Jags, the two best teams left. This is a tough one. This is a real tough one. I mean, they're the best record-wise. They're definitely not the best teams. You know? I mean, I had the Jags beating the Chiefs and the Bills. Just because, you know, they're good matchups, and I think they go in the Jags' favor. They're definitely not the best team. I'm going to go with the Jags here. But it's good putting them at Thursday Night Football. They know that they're the number one teams. All right, Lions, Ravens. I think this is going to be an upset. Lions are going to win this one on the road. Raiders, Bears. Bears are going to take this one. Steelers off the bye are going to destroy the Rams. And Green Bay off the bye, heading to the Broncos. I'm not sure about this one. I'm going to go with the Broncos, but I feel like this is a bad matchup for the Broncos. You never know. Dolphins, Eagles. I'm going to have the Eagles taking this one. Falcons, Bucks. Another interesting matchup. I'm gonna have the Bucks win this one, but I'm not sure. It's a toss-up. And Commanders versus the Giants. You gotta go with the Giants here, of course. Seahawks, Cardinals. Seahawks are gonna win that, and then the Niners are gonna beat the Vikings on Monday Night Football. Okay, let's go next week. Update the standings. All right. Jags, Steelers. I'm gonna have the upset here. Jags face their first loss against the 5-2 Steelers. All right, Patriots, Dolphins. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins here. Broncos, Chiefs. Chiefs take this one. Send the Broncos to 6-2. Bucks, Bills. Bills are gonna take this for sure. They're giving Bucks all these primetime games as if Tom Brady's still with them. Panthers off the bye, facing the Texans with the bye. This is oh man. I hope Bryce Young is starting at this point, because Bryce Young versus CJ Stroud, this is going to be an elite matchup. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm going to go with the Panthers, but could go either way. I mean, look at this division. 7-1 Jags, and then behind them, everyone has 2 wins. Jets off the bye, I think will beat the Giants. I'm not completely sure. Saints versus the Colts. I'm going to go with the Saints here. Falcons, Titans. I'm taking the Titans off their bye. Seahawks, Browns. Seahawks are taking this. Cardinals, Ravens are taking this. Bengals off a bye versus the 49ers. Wow. The alternate Super Bowl here. Bengals, 49ers. This is going to be a really good matchup. I'm going to go with the Bengals off the bye, but it could go either way. All right. Bears versus Chargers. I'm gonna take the Bears here. Raiders, Lions. I'm taking the Lions. Eagles, Commanders. Commanders beat them once. They're not beating them again. We got Vikings, Packers. I think Packers take this one. Go to 2-5. Rams versus the Cowboys off a bye. Cowboys are winning this one. Let's just update the standings real quick. And let's go to week 9. Titans, Steelers. That's going to be a Steelers win on Thursday Night Football. And they're going to jump to 6-2. Dolphins versus the Chiefs. I'm going to go with the Chiefs win. Then they jump up. They're first in their division again. Nothing to worry about. Bengals, Bills. Going to be a great matchup. Bengals beat them in the playoffs. They would have beat them in the regular season. They're going to beat them again. Then the Jets with a rod are going to beat the Chargers. Faux show. Commanders versus Patriots. I'm going to give the Patriots a win here. I don't even know if they'll be 2-6 at this point, but I'm going to give them a win. Then Browns, Cardinals. I don't know about this one. This is kind of a toss-up. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Rams still have no wins here. Then Ravens, Seahawks. I think Ravens are kind of injured at this point. I'm going to go with the Seahawks on the road just because Ravens don't stay healthy. And at this point, all the Ravens have going for them is their passing game because, and Seahawks are going to have a lockdown secondary. So, that's just no fly zone. Bucks versus Texans, faux show, win that one. Panthers, Colts. You know what? I think AR-15 is starting at this point. He's gonna beat Bryce Young. That's gonna be a fun game to watch. Then we got Giants, Raiders. Hang on. I just had to shut my door. All right. We got Giants, Raiders. This is a fun matchup. I like this. I'm going to go with the Giants. And the Jags, Broncos, Lions, 49ers are on bye. That's nice. All right. Vikings, Falcons. I got to give the win to the Vikings here. I'm not completely sure, but I'm going to give the win to the Vikings. Bears, Saints. I'm giving it to the Saints. And then Rams, Packers. This is a good matchup. I'm giving it to the Rams. They get their first win here. Cowboys, Eagles. This one is always a split. I'm taking the Cowboys here. Go next week and update the standings. All right. These are the standings. Ravens, Browns. All right. I'm going to go with the Browns here. At this point, I think they've swept the Ravens at this point. Bengals, Texans. I'm going to go with an upset. Texans are going to take this one. Colts, Patriots. Patriots are grabbing this. And Patriots are kind of jumping up there. 2 wins in a row. Ooh. All right. Raiders, Jets. Jets take this. Broncos off the bye versus the Bills. The Broncos are going to take this one. 49ers versus the Jaguars. This is going to be a great game. Can't wait for this one. 49ers, Jaguars. Both teams off the bye. I'm going to go with the 49ers. That's a great game, though. Titans, Bucks. I'm grabbing the Titans here. And then Packers, Steelers. Steelers are winning this. Lions off the bye against the Chargers. Another great game. I think the Chargers are going to take this one. Then Panthers versus the Bears. Wow. DJ Moore will be going against his old team. This is going to be a great matchup. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm going to take the Panthers. I think this is going to be great. Vikings, Saints. There's going to be an upset here. Vikings are going to win this one at home. Then Cardinals, Falcons. Battle of the 2-7s. Cardinals take this. Cowboys, Giants. Giants are going to grab this. And then Commanders, Seahawks. That one goes to the Hawks. Let's update the standings. And let's go. Ravens, Bengals. Bengals are grabbing this. Dolphins are winning this off the bye. Browns, Steelers. I'm going to give it to the Browns here. Because like I said, they always win those random games that they shouldn't win. Jags, Titans. I'm going to give this one to the Titans. Just to upset the Jags. And then the Titans, oh no, like Titans and Texans are kind of closing in on the Jags because the Jags have dropped some. Then we got Bills, Jets, a great rematch. I'm going to give this one to the Jets. Because the Bills won the first one, Jets are winning this one. Then we got Cardinals, Texans. I'm going to have the Texans win this one. Packers, Chargers. This one goes to the Chargers. Vikings, Bronx. I'm taking the Broncos here. Chiefs off the bye versus the Eagles off the bye. Look at this. That is great. Look what the NFL did here. They gave them both bye weeks before that. They're like, dude, we want these teams at their healthiest. We're going to give them an extra long week. They have a bye week and they play on Monday. We're going to give them more than 2 weeks to rest. Because we want these teams at their healthiest. We want them to their full potential. Eagles, Chiefs. Eagles do not drop another one to the Chiefs. They beat them here. Bears, Lions. Bears are going to upset the Lions here, and look at this mid-ass division. Cowboys, Panthers. Cowboys are going to win this, unfortunately. Giants, Commanders. This one goes to the Giants. Giants sweep them. Bucks, Niners. That's the Niners. Take that. And then Rams off the bye. Doesn't matter. Seahawks are winning that one. Let's go to next week. Alright, well, Seahawks are actually ahead here. And, okay. So now we have Dolphins versus Jets on Friday. Interesting. Oh, that's the Black Friday game that they're playing. You know what? I'm going to go with the Jets to win this one. Bengals, Steelers. I'm taking the Bengals here. Texans, Jags. I think Texans win this one, and now the Jags are starting to get worried. They're turning into the Titans from last year. Broncos, Browns. Broncos take this one, and they're first in the AFC. Raiders, Chiefs. That one goes to the Chiefs. And then Ravens, Chargers. I'm gonna go with the Chargers because I think the Ravens are gonna be real injured. I don't know, man. All right, Patriots off the bye versus the Giants. I'm taking the Giants here. I don't think the bye is gonna help the Patriots very much. Colts off the bye versus the Bucks. Okay, I'm gonna take the Bucks. Not sure though. That one is a toss-up for me. Panthers versus the Titans. I think the Titans have been kind of on a roll. I think they're gonna win this one. Bills versus the Eagles. This is gonna be a good matchup. I'm looking forward to this one. Eagles are gonna win that. Packers Lions on Thanksgiving. Packers are gonna be just, you know what, fuck you guys. They're gonna win that one. Then Cowboys are gonna take this against the Commanders. Seahawks at home. Seahawks are gonna beat the 49ers at home on Thursday Night Football. They have a short week. Thanksgiving football. You know. Falcons off the bye, then Saints off the bye. Falcons are gonna upset the Saints, send them to 7-4. Then Cardinals, Rams. Rams are going to win this one. They split. Vikings, Bears. Vikings take this one. Let's go to the next, and let's update the standings. All right. Now we got Seahawks and Broncos ahead. Wow, maybe I am biased because I have Seahawks and Russell Wilson at number 1. Okay. So then we got Chargers, Patriots. I think the Patriots are going to win this. They always beat the Chargers for some reason. Titans, Colts. I'm going to give this one to the Titans. Now they're jumping up to 7-5. Texans, Broncos. Texans are going to upset here. And they're going to jump to 7-5. So now we got 3 7-win teams in the AFC South. Jags, Bengals. The Jags have lost 4 straight, and that streak is not going to end now. They fall to 7-5. Major collapse by the Jaguars here. Dolphins versus the Commanders. Commanders are going to upset, send the Dolphins to 5-7. Cardinals, Steelers. This is going to be a Cardinals win here. They're going to upset the Steelers. Lots of upsets this week. Jets, Falcons. Not this one. Jets take this one. Rams, Browns. I'm going to give this one to the Rams. Then Packers, Chiefs. Chiefs take that for sure. Seahawks, Cowboys. I'm giving this one to the Cowboys at home. I hate it, but I'm giving it to the Cowboys at home. They had a long week, and Seattle played against the Niners the previous week, and, it's an away game. Not much they can do there. All right, Panthers are going to take this one against the Bucks. Lions are going to take this one against the Saints. And the 49ers are going to get vengeance. They're going to beat the Eagles there. Then we boom, boom. All right. Then we go to the next week. Week 14. We have Patriots versus the Steelers. I'm going to give this one to the Patriots as an upset. Patriots then jump to 6-7. They're coming back. Jags versus Browns. I'm giving this one to the Jags. They finally get a win. Texans versus the Jets. I'm taking the Jets here. Bengals, Colts. That one's going to the Bengals. Chiefs versus Bills off the bye. Bills are going to beat the Chiefs as per usual. Broncos, Chargers. Chargers are going to upset here. And the Dolphins are going to beat the Titans, which Jags are happy this week. They're so thankful. Rams versus the Ravens. Off the bye, Ravens are taking that. Maybe some guys are starting to get healthy at this point. Raiders versus the Vikings. This one's a toss-up. I'm not quite sure about this one. I'm going to go with the Raiders off the bye. Bucks, Falcons. I'm not sure. I'm going to give this one to the Bucks, but it's a toss-up. Then Lions versus the Bears. Bears are going to take this one. Panthers, Saints. This is a great matchup. This is going to be a great one. I'm going to go Panthers here. Seahawks, 49ers. 49ers are going to win this one. Seahawks have a tough stretch here. They have the Eagles next week too. They have Niners, Cowboys, Niners, Eagles, and then Titans, I believe. But yeah, real tough stretch there. Eagles are going to beat the Cowboys here, and then the Giants are going to beat the Packers off their bye. We go to the next week. Boom, boom. All right. And then we got Chargers, Raiders. I'm giving this one to the Chargers. Always great games, but I think the Chargers are taking it. Colts, Steelers. I'm going to give this one to the Colts at home, and then I'm going to give this one to the Dolphins at home. Titans, Texans. This is going to be a good matchup. Maybe Will Levis is starting at this point. CJ Stroud versus Will Levis. I'm going to go with the Texans here. I like them a little bit better. Jags, Ravens. Again, Ravens are unhealthy. I'm going with the Jags here. Chiefs, Patriots. Patriots are going to take this. And then I'm going to have the Bears beat the Browns there. Broncos, Lions. This is a great game. Broncos are going to take this. Vikings, Bengals. That one goes to the Bengals. Then Bills, Cowboys. Bills take this one for sure. Falcons, Panthers. Falcons are going to upset and beat the Panthers there. And then this one, I'm going to have Green Bay winning this one against the Buccaneers. Then we got Giants, Saints. I'm giving this one to the Saints. Cardinals versus 49ers. Cardinals off the bye are going to huge upset against the 49ers here. Then we got the Rams versus the Commanders. Commanders are going to take this one. We got Seahawks, Eagles. I think Eagles win this one. Seahawks have lost 3 straight. It's not looking good. All right. And we got Bengals, Steelers. I think the Bengals win this one, and they've already sealed their spot in this division. Bills, Chargers. Chargers need this win. Chargers are going to get it at home. Texans, Browns. Browns already eliminated from the playoffs pretty much. Are going to try to knock off the Texans here. Patriots, Broncos. I think this is going to be an upset. Patriots are fighting for a playoff spot. They're going to look to get in here with a win over the Broncos. Chiefs versus Raiders. Raiders once again trying to knock off the Chiefs. They're going to win here. Lots of upsets this week. Commanders versus the Jets. Jets aren't getting upset. Jets are winning this game. Colts versus the Falcons. Neither of which are doing too great. Falcons are eliminated. Colts are eliminated. I'm going to give this one to the Falcons here. Titans, Seahawks. I'm going to give this one to the Seahawks after a tough stretch. And Titans' playoff chances are slipping. The Jaguars, Bucks. Jaguars need this game to get it. They win. Jaguars pretty much have clinched their division at this point. Then we got Cowboys, Dolphins. Dolphins fighting for a playoff spot. Cowboys fighting for a playoff spot. I'm going to give this one. It depends. Is Tua healthy? That's it depends here. Is Tua healthy? Because if Tua's healthy, they win. If he's not, they lose. I'm going to give this one to the Dolphins, but it is a big toss-up. 49ers, Ravens. Ravens are eliminated from the playoffs at this point, and the 49ers are just going to win this one. Just sail their way into the playoffs. Saints, Rams. Saints fighting for a playoff spot. Rams, the underdogs in the last few weeks, the underdogs are always scary. I'm going to give that one to the Rams. Panthers, Packers. Panthers are going to take this one. Vikings, Lions. Vikings at home are going to beat the Lions. And then Bears, Cardinals. Bears take that one. Eagles, Giants. I'm going to have the Giants win this one in Philly. And we're looking to the next week. Let's update this. Jets versus Browns. Thursday Night Football. Browns are going to come up with a shocker. And they're going to win here. Colts, Raiders. They're both eliminated from the playoffs at this point. I'm going to give the Raiders that win. Ravens, Dolphins. Ravens are going to win this one and eliminate the Dolphins. No, they're not. I don't know what I'm saying, though. Because I don't know why I would say that. Because the Dolphins never lose to the Ravens. The Dolphins always destroy the Ravens. So that was my bad there. Bills still fighting for a playoff spot. They win this one. Go to 10-6. Now the Dolphins are fucked. Titans, Texans, both of which fighting for a playoff spot. I'm giving this one to the Titans. They split. Now they're 8-8. Both are eliminated from the playoffs. Chiefs, Bengals. I'm gonna have the Chiefs winning this one and surging ahead to 10-6. Then I'm gonna have the Chargers beating the Bengals. They advance to 10-6. Panthers, Jags. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go with the Jags here. And then Seahawks. Oh my God. Work, please. Seahawks, Steelers. Seahawks take this one. Steelers fall to 7-9. They're eliminated from the playoffs. And then we got Lions, Cowboys. I'm going to have the Lions taking this one. We got Eagles, Cards. Eagles take this. They've won their division. Giants, Rams. I'm going to have the Rams upset the Giants here, which the Cowboys are pumped about. Niners, Commanders. Niners take this one. Then we got Saints, Bucks. Saints are fighting for that playoff spot. And they're going to win and look to secure it. Falcons, Bears. The Falcons are going to upset the Bears here. And then Packers, Vikings. Vikings are going to win here. It's still a fight for the NFC North. We go to the last week of the season. Let's update the scores. Or not the scores. Let's update the standings. And look. Last week of the season, Bengals won their division. They're the 1 seed. Jaguars won their division. They're the 2nd seed. Jets, at this point, have pretty much won their division. They're the 3rd seed. Bills are the wild card spot at 7. And then in the AFC West, Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos are all fighting for the division. Then here in the NFC West, 49ers are the 1 seed. Seahawks are still fighting for that number 1 spot, but they've clinched the wild card spot. Then Eagles have won their division, and Giants and Cowboys are fighting for that wild card spot. Panthers and Saints are still fighting for both a wild card spot and their division. And then Vikings, Bears, and Lions are still fighting for the division and a wild card spot. Then we got Jets and Patriots. The Patriots are going to fuck up Aaron Rodgers. At home, the Jets are going to get swept by the Patriots. Swept by the Patriots. Dolphins, Bills. The Dolphins are going to win here. We're going to update this one. Dolphins still out as of right now. Ravens, Steelers. Ravens are going to fuck up the Steelers. I mean, they're already fucked up, but Ravens are going to win there. Then we got Bengals, Browns. The Bengals are going to win this. Clinch the 1 seed, which they actually already did. Texans, Colts. I'm going to have the Colts winning this one. Jumping to 6-10, that's their final record. Texans final is 8-9. Can I look at the current draft order for this? I can't. Titans, Jags. Titans are going to win this one. Doesn't matter. Jags have already won the division, but it will kind of fuck up their seeding overall. Because Jags are probably going to be resting starters. Bengals probably will too, but I think they're still going to win. Then Chiefs, Chargers. This is a fight for the division. I'm going to have the Chiefs winning it. Then Raiders, Broncos. I'm going to have the Broncos winning this one. Buccaneers, Panthers. Panthers and Saints fighting for this spot. Buccaneers are going to fuck them over and upset the Panthers. Cowboys versus Washington. Washington is going to fuck up the Cowboys' chances, and Cowboys are eliminated from the playoffs. Giants need to beat the Eagles in order to be in the playoffs, and they're not going to do it. Eagles go to 12-5. Lions, Vikings, both fighting for that playoff spot. I'm going to have the Lions winning this one late in the season. Then Packers, Bears. Packers are going to upset the Bears here. And then let's see who wins. It's still the Vikings. It's still the Vikings because they have the best divisional record. So Vikings win the NFC North once again. Then we got Saints, Falcons. The Saints are going to win this one, and they're going to win their division. Bro, it's so slow. Alright, now let's see. Alright, now we got Cardinals, Seahawks. The Seahawks are really just playing. Actually, they're not even playing for seeding because they've clinched the number 5 seed. They're going to rest starters, and the Cardinals are going to win this one. Then we got the Rams and the Niners. Niners are going to win this. Now let's look at the final standings here. Bengals win their division and the 1 seed. Jaguars win their division and the 2 seed. Jets win their division, the 3rd seed. And Bills get the 7th seed. Chiefs win their division with the 4th seed. Broncos, the 5th seed. Chargers, the 6th seed. Niners win their division, the 1st seed. And Seahawks win. Seahawks get the wild card spot at the 5th seed. Eagles win their division, 2nd seed. And Giants get in the wild card as the 7th seed. Saints win their division, the 3rd seed. Panthers sneak into the wild card as a 6th seed. And the Vikings win their division as the 4th seed. Now let's go to the playoff matchups. Broncos, Chiefs, both teams who could be Super Bowl contenders. Unfortunately, the Chiefs are going to win this one, sending the Broncos home. Jets, Chargers. Chargers are going to charger it, and the Jets are going to win this one. Jaguars, Bills is going to be a hell of a game. I'm really looking forward to it. The Bills are going to win this one. After all that, the Jags get knocked off in the wild card round. Seahawks are going to take this one because the Vikings are not very good. Panthers, Saints, a divisional matchup. And the Panthers are going to take this one and knock off the home field Saints. Giants, Eagles, another divisional matchup. Eagles are going to take this one. Then we move on to the next round. If we can move on to the next round, if it's letting us. Okay, we did that. Now go to the next. Go to the next. This fucking website, man. Oh my god. Is it not letting me? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Oh, I can close that. I don't need to have that open. See how slow this shit is? It's websites like this, man. Okay. Okay, so it's weekly actions. Let's go reset week. See what this does. Because I don't get what's happening. It let me do the wild card round. Why wouldn't it let me do the divisional round? You know? That doesn't make much sense to me. Reset the week. Randomize the week. Okay. And it says no teams are on bye. So this is like, this thing is completely fucked. What the fuck? You know? What the actual fuck? What the actual fuck? Alright, well, we're just gonna have to do this on paper then. So let's look at this. I have obviously the 2-1 seeds. Alright, so the divisional round will be the Bengals versus the Bills, and the Jets hosting the Chiefs. And then the Niners will host the Panthers, and the Eagles will host the Seahawks. Now, I'm going to have the Bengals beat the Bills, and I'm going to have the Chiefs beat the Jets. So it's Bengals-Chiefs rematch, AFC Championship. I'm going to have the Bengals win that one. Bengals are going to the Super Bowl. Then we have Niners-Panthers. Niners take this one. And then the Eagles beat the Seahawks. So another rematch of the NFC Championship, and the Eagles win that one. So then it's Bengals-Eagles. And I'm going to have the Eagles win that one. Eagles back-to-back Super Bowls, and they finally win it. Boom. There you go. There you go. Because I can't do this. So there you go. Super Bowl is Bengals, Eagles, and the Eagles are winning it. That's how it's going to go. So, alright guys. I've been doing this for fucking 3 hours. No, 2.5 hours, but still. I hope all of this will come true. Although not really. I hope the Seahawks win the Super Bowl. But you guys get it. So I'll see y'all. Thank you.